Hey, this is actress Carissa Lee Staples, and you're listening to the Oh Brother Podcast.
Welcome to the Oh Brother Podcast with hosts Dan and Mike Smith, brothers from the same mother with different opinions on movies, TV, video games, and more, plus celebrity interviews. Get ready, get set. It's time for the Oh Brother Podcast. Welcome back again to the Oh Brother Podcast. It is June 13th when you get in this episode. We are back.
And we're together.
We're together.
We're
That's
side
right.
by side.
This is only the second time. The first
That's
time
right.
was when we did the Beatles Get Back episode.
That's right.
So it's a bit strange. And looking at the video for us is a bit strange, which
Very
we don't know
strange.
this will ever see the light of day. But
I gotta, speaking of strange, I gotta bring this up. because-
Doctor Strange?
Well, we're gonna get to
Jeez,
Doctor
we're already going down a
Strange.
rabbit hole, folks. Okay.
No, it's.
I didn't do the intro
The new
or nothing.
logo
Okay.
we got.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I'm noticing a couple of things.
People love the new logo.
You love it because you've grown like a foot over me.
Well, I have legitimately grown a foot
Well,
over
I
you.
might. I agree. I was 5'11" at one point, and sometimes
Yeah,
I
in
shrunk.
1984.
I shrunk.
That's
So-
what happens to all of us.
But I don't think there's that big a difference. And
Mhm.
also, never in my life have I worn a wristband.
It's not a wristband. It's a smartwatch.
But I don't wear I don't even wear.
Why
a
are you
regular
complaining?
watch. I'm just saying. Just
This
a-
gentleman who did our
It's
first
a great
logo.
logo.
Okay, then stop bitching about it.
But I'm just pointing
Because
out
I'm
a
starting
couple
to
of
feel
things.
like
No.
folks, podcasting 101, don't shit on your own brand. That should be like rule number
But
one.
that's not what I'm doing.
It
I'm
is.
just pointing out
Okay.
a couple of observations.
Okay, and I'm just pointing out that I'll be editing this episode, folks. All right, so for those of you that are not currently following us, if you want to see the logo that Mike is railing about, easiest way to find all things Oh Brother is to go out to our official website, which is OHB as in brother podcast.com. That's OHB as in brother podcast.com. And you get access to all things Oh Brother out there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And make sure that we're streaming everywhere. So no matter where you get your podcast,
You got us.
we're on that platform. So you can listen to the show wherever you choose to do. I know a lot of people do listen to podcasts on YouTube. So you can also access the show there. We're going to talk about, we got a lineup today that includes, first of all, we're going to review the movie Doctor Strange.
which we saw
In the
together.
help me out, in the madness of multiverse. What is it again?
Doctor Strange and the
Multiverse of Madness.
the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about Doctor Strange, which I was late to the party because I just saw the first Doctor Strange like a week or two ago.
Right, which I'm glad
Me too.
that you did. And also, you really need to see WandaVision, I think.
Well, I did see one of it.
Yeah.
I did.
but I
yeah.
think you need to see it.
Yeah. We're then going to talk about Kenobi Part 3 because
Mhm.
that had aired after we did the last episode.
Yeah, we just kind of talked briefly about the intro.
in the
and-
first part,
in
two
the
parts.
first two. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Part
then-
3 was kind of like an eye opener.
Yeah, and then we caught up on Barry last night.
Yeah, we're up to date,
Yeah.
which is on HBO Max.
Yep. So we'll talk
And
about.
there's only one episode left.
That's right. So I'm
So-
kind of bummed out. So yeah, season finale coming up for Barry. Now, before we get into all of this, I did want to say that first of all, I'm on a approaching a 24-hour fast, so there's no telling what's going to come out of my mouth over the next little while.
So if you
here.
just kind of like,
yeah, if I just fall over at some point, yeah.
I'll take over.
I mean, I haven't had a bite to eat all day. I did want to mention.
It'll be the Me Brother podcast.
Yeah, just brother or just So we went to Trader Joe's the other day to
Mhm.
look around, do a little shopping, and I had picked up some body wash for myself.
Yeah.
because there wasn't enough in the hotel where I'm staying, so I wanted to get some. So I got this bottle of Tea Tree Tingle body wash.
It's
now,
still tingling.
yeah, and it's tingling in places where I've never felt so alive.
Yeah, I normally like to tingle. But...
Exactly. Like what did Mike Myers say? His kibbles and bits or whatever. His undercarriage.
Right.
So yeah, my undercarriage is still tingling from a couple of days ago.
So I know not to buy that particular product, I think. I don't know if
tea tree tingle. It's very it's like eucalyptus for your scrotum.
Now you should do some editing.
That's a good sales pitch.
Yeah, really.
Between you with our branding and me for body wash, the monetization of the podcast is going to be flying. So let's talk about the Wanda vision in the madness of the multiverse. Is that what it is?
Close enough. Doctor Strange
and the madness of the Wanda vision, and
a couple of new people.
I mean, so I really liked Doctor Strange. And, you know,
the original.
Yes. And I got on, I was late to the Benedict Cumberbatch party too.
Yeah.
Now I'm a fan of his and trying to dive into all of his work. What's the movie that he's in that I've been told to see? Which Imitation Game? Okay. I need to see that.
It's a true story.
Yeah. Somebody else just said, oh, yeah, you got to see that one where he breaks the code to, was it the Germans were using or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so I liked the first one, and as you said, I'm glad I saw it because I think I would have been a little bit lost to see this as a standalone.
Although I was surprised because there's a lot going on in this movie, but the director, Sam Raimi, really kind of put it together really nice.
Yeah.
I think you could go into this cold, although seeing the first one and seeing WandaVision, I would highly suggest.
Yes.
But he took a really complex story and told it pretty well, I thought. I liked it.
You liked it?
I liked it.
Okay. And we're going to try to do this spoiler free. So just for those of you listening, you don't have to worry about
although it's coming to Disney Plus very soon, June 22nd.
Well, true, because we saw it sort of late, right? It's been out for...
Yeah, it's been out. We were lucky enough to catch it late. We were gonna go see either this or Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of leaned towards this because I knew the theater would be empty.
Right, and it was.
And I only had to deal with one kind of annoying person to my left that kept checking
Wait a minute. I was sitting to your left.
So anyways, we got there on time.
It was nice. We were in the very back.
Yeah.
A lot of space.
Only,
nice.
Some I don't know, football team came in.
Yeah.
I
think they came in late, left early, maybe.
Well, it was one of those things where they probably
were dipping in to
go to see
rated
another
R
movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
And they figured, let's
Hannah,
check this
Hannah
out.
and her blisters.
Yeah.
Now,
we gave up Top Gun.
We did.
Maverick to see this.
Yeah, but we paid about, what was it, $500?
Yeah, $35.
Yeah, now it was 3D.
3D.
So we saw it in 3D, which was pretty cool. I enjoyed that.
I did too.
It's gotten so advanced.
I had to, stretch my eyes out. I was wondering if it bothered you because you've been putting drops
with the contact lens
the whole week you've been here.
Right, they've been dried out on me. No, it didn't bother me at all. Just no more than just wearing glasses bothers you. Just having them on you. But I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
because at one point, did you pick up? Was it me or was there a big homage to horror films going on in this? Like Carrie. I saw Carrie at one point, a nod to Carrie. The Shining was there was a nod to The Shining.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's Thriller video, there was a nod to that, which we just talked about.
But then there was a nod to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
There was a nod to a lot of things. Bruce Campbell does a cameo. I probably shouldn't have ruined that.
Right.
But I didn't really ruin it.
No.
Because he's in every single Sam Raimi movie.
That's true. That's true. But for me, there were things where just really tired tropes that I thought were just overplayed. And for example, there's a scene, I don't remember what scene it was, but there's a line where one of the characters is squaring off with some creature in the film. And it's that, go back to hell. Like one of those, that was Predator in 1984. It was really kind of lame. I didn't buy any of that. And also, this is another one of those movies where you've got Doctor Strange and then his young sidekick.
Yeah.
And that was a little much.
I thought
for
she
me.
was okay. I knew she was coming. I don't know if she's part of the Marvels.
See, I don't even know.
I knew
Have
she
we
was
seen
coming.
her already?
America. No, this is her.
Okay.
But she's in the comics.
America Chavos?
America.
Chavez?
Yeah, that's her
Chavez?
name. Her character name.
Right.
Gomez. I forget.
Oh, that's right.
Name,
yeah,
is her real name.
Right. I'll look it up.
And they did. She had two mothers, and I don't know if you even picked up on this. On her shirt, she had the rainbow.
Oh,
did you catch that?
I may have, but not to the extent.
And they couldn't have hit it anymore because it was so hidden.
Okay, and look, it's Pride Month,
right?
And I was in Boston today, and there was a lot of celebrating going on there, supporting Pride Month, but that just seemed a little too forced to me.
A little bit.
It really seemed, for characters that were in it for like 2 minutes.
And if you know the character, I don't think it was, but for those of us who aren't comic people, I'm not going to say her.
I'm going to guess her first name, Zoctil. I mean, that's how I would say.
Good
it.
enough guess.
Zoctil Gomez.
Take a shot.
And apologies if we're butchering the name, but and of course Elizabeth Olsen.
She was excellent.
Benedict Cumberbatch was great. Rachel McAdams is back.
I was surprised.
And then there's some others that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, well, Benedict Wong, of course.
Right.
We knew he was going to
some other
be
cameos that we'll just leave.
But I'm surprised that there was no return. And I don't. Since you saw Doctor Strange just recently, what happened to Tilda Swinton? Did she
didn't she sacrifice herself
or something?
Yes. But I think she ultimately sacrificed herself or something.
Because I
see
that's what happened to her.
You know me with the Marvel. I'm a one and done. I watch it and I just can't make the connection after that.
And I was looking for it because I just forgot.
What how did you like Jim Carrey in the film? Did you like Jim Carrey's cameo as Fire Marshal Bill?
That was a good
Two-Face. It just I didn't.
Stupid.
It looked kind of dumb.
You know what, though? In the beginning, there was a great, we've talked about foreshadowing before.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Raimi did a foreshadow in the beginning where there's a fight where, like you kind of say, there's a bunch of characters in there, and they're fighting this big army of good guys.
Right.
And there was one particular guy who had a beard and was, rather handsome fellow.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of stuck out in this crowd of 1,000 people. And then all of a sudden, Wanda goes down and whispers in his ear, picks that guy.
Oh, the young kid.
Yeah.
He was a young kid.
But the way it was foreshadowed, I just found that funny.
It was a pretty big. I thought an alternate title for this movie could have been Doctor Strange and the Fear of Commitment in the Multiverse. It's I don't know. It just... I found myself a little getting kind of bored at the end, and
I thought it was
feeling long.
I thought it was a little long.
Yeah, it felt long.
I agree with that. I think they definitely could have trimmed a good 20 minutes.
I don't think it's as good as the first one. What about that? What's your take on that? How do you compare them?
Gosh, I like them both. I think
almost
about
equally.
Yeah,
really. Okay.
I was really surprised. I thought there was going to be a lot of Spider-Man stuff in this. And they made a couple jokes about it.
I wasn't even sure how I felt about the CGI, to be honest with you. That didn't even seem as good as we normally expect. And you know what else fell flat for me? And we were just talking about it with Marvel because they always hit a home run with this, was the humor.
There wasn't a lot.
There wasn't a lot. And the spots where they introduced it, it just wasn't really good.
They didn't need it.
No. It seemed like very tired writing when it came to the humor.
Yeah, but this was such a complex story. I think if you threw some of that in...
I will give you that. the story I had no problem following. It was just, some of the performances.
I go back now. We've had a couple of duds with, in my opinion, with Eternals the 10 Rings.
Yeah,
those
Shang-Chi.
To me, and then even Spider-Man, I thought that was on the duddish. This is, I think, back to Marvel. This felt more like, oh, okay, somebody knows how to make. And it was Sam Raimi, who is new to Marvel, but not new to. I mean, he did 3 really good Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, let's slowly segue into a couple of other people that really know how to do it, which is we'll get into Kenobi here in a second. But just to kind of round out the conversation about Doctor Strange, I guess I was just as good as Elizabeth Olsen was as Wanda. It's just like, this was really her movie. I felt like it was kind of like, remember with the Spider-Man, it's like, when is Tom Holland going to get his own Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
I really felt like Benedict Cumberbatch's character was overshadowed.
Yeah, and they set it up. They set it up so much in WandaVision, and this was the payoff. And you're right. I mean,
I guess I think
he was the main character. But slightly subordinate at times.
Right.
She took over.
Which I suppose, when it comes to Marvel, there's so many characters at play.
Right.
It's almost necessary, I guess. So I don't know if that's a fair criticism. But.
We got introduced to 2 characters. I have no idea who they are. Some guy that whispers and destroys you.
Yeah, so that's where I think we don't.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the others.
No, well, he's part of the others.
But do you know who he is?
No.
And then there was another female that I was like, who is this?
Yeah. So just to say that there were some other cameos that, I don't know, may or may not surprise folks. It surprised me. I didn't expect any of that. But it made it kind of interesting and made me think about, okay.
But why
multiverse,
not? Why not? Because America Chavez fit in well. They introduced her early, and she was in the film a lot. Mm-hmm. That was a good introduction of a new character. Why didn't they use one of the Eternals as part of the judging group? I don't know what else you call them. Because
thread them into it.
Really, I thought the movie was very different from what I thought it was going to be. I thought Doctor Strange was going to be on trial for messing with the multiverse.
Yeah, you said that.
In Spider-Man. Right. But it had nothing to do with that.
Right.
And more to do with Wanda Maximoff. What's going on in her life.
Right.
And what she's doing to the multiverse, which is where they introduced it. So not a big surprise.
So let's move on from Doctor Strange and talk about part 3 of Kenobi. So I don't know. We really can't do this spoiler free.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Kenobi part 3 yet, maybe go watch it. Yeah, skip ahead or jump, pause it, go watch Kenobi, then come back and listen to the rest of the podcast. So give us your, synopsis on part 3 or just your take on it. What are your thoughts about it?
I'm really liking it a lot. I mean, I said last time we talked about the first 2, I love Ewan McGregor.
Right.
I think he's right back in the shoes of that character. He's playing it older. He looks older. Not a lot older. He's aging great. I wish I looked as good as him.
Right.
He's also trying to do something with his voice to get a little Alec Guinness in there because he's getting closer to Alec Guinness, you know, and age, the whole thing, which is weird. Huh?
Yeah. And we only have 3 episodes for that to sort of fully take root.
But
now, one metamorphosis that's already in place that we get full reveal on in this episode is, of course, Lord Vader.
Yes.
Which is now part 2 ends, right, with that tease.
With the tease with him in the tent.
And then the breath. Yeah.
And
he's getting all his,
Right. He has to live that way,
right,
to survive.
Right.
And I said to you, I cannot wait. A face-to-face is coming. And that's going to be explosive. What a great ending.
Right.
Turns out they go face-to-face in part 3.
Yes.
I was stunned.
And, I mean, there was a lot of Kenobi Vader in this. More than
great.
I think anybody anticipated. So they end up, I forget, help me remember. So Kenobi is with Leia. And they head to this Marpuso.
Right.
Is where they go.
Right.
Where they mine some sort of mineral or whatever it is.
Right. He's trying to save her. She was kidnapped.
Yeah.
He's trying to save her. He gets her.
I forget, where were they heading to, though? What was the destination? They get to this.
He was bringing her home.
Right, just to try to get back.
Correct.
Right. So
he was bringing her home.
And I guess this Marpuzo was a stop along the way.
Exactly.
And
it was like a black market deal because Vader cut off all travel.
Right.
And there was no way to get out, so they had to do this black market thing.
And then they come in contact with a woman who, talk about the character who is pretending to be working for the Empire, that helps them sort of make an escape.
Right.
And she's the woman from Game of Thrones, the actress from Game of Thrones. They're on their way to Marpuzo, and then she has this like secret hideout. Remember, she says, we've got these stationed all over the galaxy.
Right.
Right. These kind of hideouts.
Right. But I didn't think she was a significant character.
Is.
Yeah, I remember her.
Indira Varma.
Okay.
And she plays Tala is the character.
And I don't know if she's going to be back or...
Yeah, I don't know. But she's in the thick of it. And matter of fact, she plays a critical role in this because she's the one, if you remember, when Kenobi and Vader square off, which is just like, can't believe I'm watching this, you know. And Vader knocks over these barrels that contain whatever they're strip mining there, whatever it is, it's flammable.
Yes.
And then he lights it on fire.
Yes.
Right. And he's starting to force pull Kenobi into the fire.
Correct.
And then a droid that appears previously in that scene enters this scene and saves him.
Yes.
Pulls him out of the fire.
And now you don't have to watch the show.
Exactly. Well, we already said skip ahead, right?
Yeah. But
my point was that she's up on the hillside, right? The bank there looking down on this.
Right.
And she creates another explosion that basically allows and buys Kenobi time to escape. Right.
And the whole point of that escape wasn't so much for him and her to escape. It really was Kenobi drawing Vader away from Leia, because if he finds out he's got two kids at this point and one of them's right there, he's going to instantly start working her to the dark side.
Right.
So he's trying to, it's really kind of a fake almost. But I love the Ewan McGregor line where he says, "What have they done to you?"
Yeah.
And it's almost like in his heart, he still sees Anakin.
Mm-hmm. Well,
somehow. Well, the voice is shocking.
Well, okay, so
we see Anakin.
Exactly. That was what I was getting at.
He sees him at a distance. I wish they showed him closer. I don't know why.
Now talk about someone that's aging well. And he's a young guy still. Hayden Christensen is only like 41 years old.
Right. Why they didn't give the audience a closer
more of that?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a tease. I think we're going to get more of it. I think there's going to be more, whether it's a vision through Kenobi or some sort of flashback or something. And
that's what it is. It's a vision because he's watching it and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's in his head. Mm-hmm. And then when he's introduced to Lord Vader, what do we hear? The voice.
James Earl Jones.
And it sounds like James
in
1976.
Right. And I talked about this company called Respeecher, I think is the name of it. And
there's a big debate.
They're in the credits. It's in the credits of the episode.
Oh, okay.
So they're involved somehow.
James Earl Jones is also in the credits.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's his voice regardless.
Right.
So I don't know if some of it was recorded recently and mashed up, or if it's all sort of his previous voice. And I don't know. And
again, if we go back to the timeline of where this is, this is before they have their face off to make Luke stronger, where
in A New Hope,
Kenobi gives himself up.
Yeah.
So his voice would be strong like that.
Yeah. And one last thing to say about this, at least for me, is the fierceness of Vader. We've not seen Darth Vader this brutal.
Right.
Okay, he force chokes a guy in New Hope, and we see some of that and whatever. But he's snapping kids' necks. He's like, without giving it a second thought.
Like I had said to you, remember, this is a good guy. This guy, he turns good.
Right.
It was just to see Ewan McGregor react in an emotional way. Like, what have they done to you?
Yeah. And he's kind of been in that state now since they faced off in Mustafar. Yeah.
Right.
So, so it's fantastic. Deborah Chow is doing an amazing job with this production.
She's going to direct the next 3. So
yeah, thank goodness.
There's no reason to think this isn't going to be a home run.
Yeah, it's amazing how much we got in that one episode. Yeah, I'm blown away by it.
I said to you, by the end of this, I think we have 2 more movies.
Yeah, and I don't know. We're I'm giddy with the amount of Star Wars we're getting. Yeah, coming our way these days. Yeah. All right, so let's segue away from Kenobi and into another HBO Max show, which is, because of course Kenobi's on Disney Plus, but Barry.
Yeah, to me, this was a disappointing episode.
Bill Hader's Barry? Really? I did not think so.
Yeah.
Because I have to say the actress that plays Sally, she went quote girlfriend, which now you're seeing, that said to me, I can see how she's going to either forgive him or they're going to come back together somehow, because now she can be as ruthless as he can.
Yeah, she went
like
off.
She's got a short fuse, apparently, right?
Right. Like, where was that?
Yeah, and
Sweet Sally. And you saw hints of it early on.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think we should sleep together, when she clearly was going to.
Right, the 2 of them. But she had her own play or whatever, right? Or series, Joplin, that she was trying to get off the ground. That got canceled in favor of another show called Banshee or whatever.
Yeah.
And so now she discovers in this episode that her
best friend,
she's just another actress, right?
From the acting class.
Yeah, from Gene Cousinow's acting class. His master class.
Yeah, Henry Winkler is really getting some play.
He's so good in this. But she finds out that she's basically stolen her idea and is now using it for her own project. And she just loses it.
They get in an elevator. She loses it. It winds up on TMZ or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And we left Barry at the end of the last episode. He had just been poisoned by a woman who was related to somebody that he killed.
Yes. Somebody that he served with.
And you have all of these people related to different characters that he's killed.
Correct.
That are sort of converging and...
Right. There's a scene in this one where he actually kind of meets up with all the people he's killed.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting.
It was interesting.
And we recognize some of them, but not all of them.
That's what I love about this is some of the... the writing and the conceptualization, I guess, of some of those things. Like, that's a thought you could have, right? But like, how do you bring that to the screen visually? And I found that pretty interesting.
And very similar in this one to the last one, except it looks like he's on his way to get help. So really, we're coming on the last episode. We don't know what to expect. Overall, for people who maybe haven't started watching Barry.
Sarah Goldberg is who plays Sally Reed. I just want to get, her name out there.
Do we know her from anything else? Because I don't recognize her.
She was in The Night House, something called, she was in The Dark Knight Rises somehow. I don't know what she played in that. Part. I mean, that was 10 years ago.
Does it say the character?
No. But can we also give it up for Anthony Kerrigan, who plays NoHo Hank? I mean, I just can't get enough of NoHo Hank. He's so funny. Winkler, of course, you said.
He's won 2 Emmys for this, and it's
Henry Winkler.
This is only season 3.
And then Stephen Root from Office Space fame is just amazing as Fuchs.
With the stapler.
Yes, exactly.
What's the name of that character? Willard?
Milton.
Yeah,
Milton.
So if you're somebody who's on the fence with Barry, do you say go watch it?
Absolutely.
So you think this is one they put on? How about anything else out there in the streaming world?
No, not streaming wise. I mean, I'm waiting for Severance to come back. Hopefully, Ben Stiller's.
That's right.
That's on Apple TV.
I've got to get caught up on that.
That's
Apple
only
TV. 1 season in.
Yes. Yes.
And I watched half of it. I don't know why. I think I got distracted.
Now, in the last episode, we talked about space documentaries because we were talking about For All Mankind.
Correct.
And so, not a streaming series, but another movie I was very late to that I just finished the other night was Interstellar.
Yeah.
Which I had forgotten as I was watching it that it was Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
And of course, whenever him and his brother sit down and write anything,
you got to think.
That was so mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The end of that film. So that was just another one for anybody like me who hadn't seen it.
I've got the
that's
box
a must.
set here, Nolan,
which
is all of his films.
McConaughey, Matthew McConaughey is great in that.
He was good in it.
And Anne Hathaway was really great in that too. So just it's a really fantastic
That's
movie.
an older one.
And a great message.
But it's a good one.
It's pretty deep. Yeah. So that's a good one. Now you wanted to make a correction.
I wanted to make a correction from last week that really bugged me because
as it should.
We turned our vision to handheld video games,
which
I wasn't expecting. You hit me
kind of a surprise.
And I started going through the history, and we started with that football game, which ironically I was watching Seinfeld this week, and the episode where he's playing it.
And what did you call it at first? You said it was what?
I called it Magnavox.
Magnavox, right?
Which Magnavox was our first video game home system.
Yeah, you had the first two letters correct.
Magnavox Odyssey, and it was black and white. All it was is Pong.
Yeah,
and you used to have to put like this thing that stuck to the TV.
Yes, that's right.
And it was like a hockey rink,
right?
But you were playing Pong.
Yes, that's exactly. I remember that.
But of course, the little handheld was Mattel.
Mattel, of course. Mattel. Money in a mattress.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, you were here this week.
Yeah. And for those that you can't see, we're surrounded by every iteration of the handheld classic arcade games?
Most of them. There's 9 of them.
You got Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, Zaxxon, Frogger, which was always one of my favorites.
Galaxian.
Was there ever a Pitfall handheld?
No.
Oh, that would have been a good one.
No, but there was that,
You got 2 DK Juniors.
Yeah, and one was never released. I got a couple of secret things. Berserk was never released. And that mini these are Coleco.
I know,
systems.
Where's my Crazy Climber that I love?
Oh, I left it on.
Which I don't think that's the Crazy Climber that I was thinking.
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
I don't know if it is.
And it even says Crazy Climbing or something.
Yeah, they changed the name a little bit, so
right.
It could be a knockoff.
I also like you've got a Saute South podcast.
I do, and for him, I hope he's listening. I keep that up there all the time.
Yeah, where's Saute, by the way?
I don't know.
He's overdue for an episode, I think. Yeah.
As absurd as the room we're sitting in now with movies, in the basement, it's even just as absurd with movies.
Right.
I mean, with video games. And I'm not talking about...
Mike's going to bring me down to the basement.
Yeah, just to show you because...
Put the lotion in the basket, Daniel. Put the lotion in the basket.
I also, speaking, so you brought up Saute South, I wanted to bring up the Rexer show. He hasn't been around.
Well, speaking of Donkey Kong Jr., I thought he might appreciate that.
Yeah, he would like that. That's his favorite.
We'll give you a good deal on it, Rexer, if you're listening.
But I wanted to give him a shout out because he's been sick.
Oh, okay.
And he hasn't done an episode in a couple of weeks. And I think it was sometime last week I gave him a shout out. I was like, hey, you know, with COVID going around, you just don't know. And he thought he had COVID.
Yeah.
So he's been sick.
Well, we're sending best wishes out to Rexer and at the Rexer show. Check him out. He's got a really great show on YouTube that you can check out. He's kind of a video game connoisseur for sure.
Oh, yeah. And not the handheld.
No, but like legit full size
arcade machines.
Right. Which we were banging away on the old little pinball wizard action going on the other night.
Were doing some.
Which who's got the current lead now?
I do.
You got what, 17 million?
17 million.
At Star
Wars.
I
know I hit 20 million.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna ace that before I walk out of here.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, it's time for us to walk out of here.
Definitely.
It's been another. So we hit Doctor Strange, which is still in theaters, but getting ready to come out on Disney Plus.
22nd of June.
On 22nd of June.
2 weeks.
Kenobi Part 4 will actually have already aired by the time you get this episode.
If you're the least bit interested in
it's a must.
Star Wars, it's a must-see. Get out of the car, pull over to the side of the road.
Yeah, pull over first, then get out of the car.
And watch it.
And then Barry on HBO Max is another winner in my book.
Yep.
All right, so time for us to step out. It's been another episode of the Oh Brother podcast. I've been your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith. And we will see you next time.
And who knows when the next time we'll actually be side by side.
Well, let's hope.
Probably be in our southern studios.
Let's hope it's not too soon.
Is my guess. Bye, everyone.
You've reached producer and cinematographer Johnny Durango. I'm unavailable right now because I'm busy listening to the Oh Brother podcast.